Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to be ranking all the trades that just happened in the AFL trade period. So I'm not only going to be looking at how valuable the player is going to be to their new team, but also what did the team give up for them. So if they gave up a lower pick, they might be in a higher category. If they gave up a lot, maybe they'll have to go down a couple of categories. So we've got our 5 tiers here, obviously. Goated trade, good trade, decent trade, bad trade, and I'm burning my membership bad trade. So let's just get into it. So starting off, we've got Jake Kelly to the Bombers. And I'm not sure. He's a good player, but I'm not sure if he'll get in their best 22. I think they've got a very good defense, Esther. I think, Redmond, Ridley, Hind, Heppel all got good games last year. So Verdi is another one. I'm not sure if Kelly can get past any of those guys. I think, at least at the start, when he's trying to settle in, he'll be medical sub at best. So I'm not sure, but that being said, they didn't give up much for him. So I will put him as a decent trade because they only gave up a compensation pick. Moving on to Mabai Chol to the Suns, and I like this trade for the Suns. They really need all the help they can get, so I do think Chol has potential to play in the AFL as a ruckman. I think the Suns need a ruckman because obviously Jared Witts is getting a bit older now. I think he's in his 30s, so I will put this one for the Suns in a good trade. Next up, we've got George Stewart to the Blues, and a few people are confused about this one, but I like it. I think George Stewart is a great player. We saw him play great for the Swans in the last few years, and now he's going to be in Carlton. And I think they could get in his best 22. I think they gave up Sam Pachevsky-Seaton to go to West Coast. I think maybe Hewitt could come in and take his role, so I'm going to put it in good trade. Moving on to Nathan Kruger to the Pies. I mean, he's only played 2 games, I think, so I'm not sure. But that being said, they didn't give up much for him, so put in decent trade, I suppose. Jeremy Finlayson to Port. I really like this trade for Port Adelaide. I think Jeremy Finlayson is a great player. I'm not sure why they only gave up a future 3rd round pick because he's a very special player, and I do think I might have to put this one in go to trade just because they literally gave up nothing at all. Because if Port have a great season like they have in the last few years, that pick's going to be like what 48 or something, I think, and that's way too low for Jeremy Finlayson, so go to trade that one. Moving on to Luke Dunstan, and this is another go-to trade. I'm not sure why St Kilda just gave up on Dunstan. I think he's a great player. I'm not sure. I think he can get in the Demons Best 22, but I'm not sure who he replaces. But that being said, he will definitely go and go to trade because they didn't even go a pick for him. They literally got him for nothing. Moving on to Will Verdi. I really like Will Verdi as a player. I think he flew a bit under the radar as a player in the Suns, but I think he's got potential. And what I like about this trade for the Dockers is they also picked up pick 19. Like, that's an absolute steal. And they did have to give up a future 2nd and a future 4th pick, but nah, I think to get Will Verdi and pick 19, I might have to put that one in go to trade just because like pick 19 will get in their best 22. Depends who they take, but Will Verdi is a great player. I think he can play on the ball. He can play Shearer, who we're going to be talking about next. Now, Adam Shearer is a very good player. I get that. He was the best player to trade clubs in this off-season. That being said, they did give up pick 6 for him, so I'm not sure about this just because last year they got Adam Sarr, they gave up pick 7, and they ended up missing that because they didn't make finals, so they probably could have used some youth. And I understand that, new coach, they're trying to go in a new direction and try to make finals again, but it is very risky, I reckon. So that being said, Adam Shearer is obviously a very good player, but I'm going to have to put in good trade purely because, maybe I'm being harsh, but I think they're going to miss that pick 6. I really do. I think if they don't make finals this year, which they have to, their team's way too good to not make finals, I think they're going to sit back and miss those last 2 top 10 picks they've given away in the last few years. Moving on now, we have got Tim O'Brien to the Bulldogs. And a lot of people, I think, not talking about this one. I like it. Josh Bruce is going to miss most of the season. Could Tim O'Brien be the guy who replaces his spot? Potentially. So it's a great short-term pickup for the Dogs. Long-term, it's not going to do much, but the Dogs try to win a flag. They can do with these depth pickups. So I will put this one in good trade because I think he could take Josh Bruce's spot next season. And who knows where it goes from there. Moving on to Lewis Young to the Blues. Now, Lewis Young is a good player. Don't get that wrong. He is a very good player, but I'm not sure if this was a good trade for Carlton. Purely because they gave up Sam Pachevsky-Seaton for absolutely pretty much nothing, really. So I'm not sure about this one. I might have to put this one in bad trade, just because, you know, Carlton's defense is very good. They've got Jacob Wiedering, Liam Jones. They've got a lot of good tall defenders. So, sure, does Lewis Young play ruck? I suppose, maybe, but, you know, they've got Mark Pittonet, who played pretty good last year, so I'm going to have to put this one in bad trade, purely because I don't see where he fits in. Moving on, though, to Sam Chesky-Seaton, and this was the biggest deal, maybe even a bigger deal than Dunstan. To give up nothing but pick 52 for Sam Chesky-Seaton. I know he's had some difficult years, but he can get some consistent footy, and pick 52 will be an absolute steal. So without a doubt, this goes and go to trade. Moving on to Robbie Tower, and I like this trade for Richmond. I reckon it was a pretty standard trade, but, you know, they want to still win a flag. They believe they can still win premierships, and Robbie Tarrant, who's a mature age of his career, can definitely help with some leadership and bringing the players forward after a difficult 2021 season. So I'm going to put this one in good trade. And as for Callum Coleman-Jones, the Kangaroos, I also like that trade, so I reckon that also goes in good trade, just because North gets some youth in. Callum Coleman-Jones, he looks like a promising player. I reckon he could play well in the future, and I'll put this one in good trade as well. Patrick Lipinski to the Magpies, I reckon that is a pretty good trade there from the Pies. Lipinski, I like him. I think he's a good player, and they gave up nothing but pick 43, so should I put in go to trade or just good trade? Maybe it's just a good trade, I don't know. Yeah, we'll just go good trade, but that was a very good pickup for Collingwood. Moving on though, Jordan Dawson to the Crows. Now, Jordan Dawson had a very good 2021 season. That being said, I'm not sure if they paid too much for him. You know, they gave up a first round pick. Maybe he's worth it, maybe he's not, I'm not sure. But that first round pick is tied to Melbourne, so if Melbourne have a similar story they had last season, then that pick's going to be like pick 18, it's going to be very low. So maybe it was a good trade, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to have to think. I reckon maybe we'll go good trade. We'll say it was a good trade, because Jordan Dawson could definitely help the Crows try to bounce back as much as they once were. Darcy Fort to the Lions is up next, and I think it was a decent trade, you know. Archie Smith just retired in Brisbane, so I think getting a new ruckman helps them, and Darcy Fort didn't get many games with the Cats, so I think him coming in could definitely help the Lions. So I'll put it in a decent trade, because just a standard trade that helps, I suppose. Moving on to Jonathan Segler to the Cats, and I'm going to have to put this one in bad trade, because I'm not sure why they did it. Jonathan Segler's in his 30s, Darcy Fort's young, but there are some positives to it. Segler was around with the Hawthorne PP, he knows what it takes to win, but I can't see the Cats winning just because they've got an older ruckman on their team who's won premierships before. So I'm going to have to put this one in bad trade, because if Segler retires in 2 years, it's just going to be a waste of time. Moving on to Jordan Clark, and I reckon it was a decent trade. I reckon they did give up a fair amount for him, so it'll be interesting, because I don't think he's had his chance at the Geelong Cats yet. So I think pick 22, maybe it's a bit high, but I'll put in a decent trade. I want to see how he progresses with the Dockers, because I still think he could be a good player. Max Lynch to Hawthorne, I actually like this. I think the Hawks replacing Segler with the younger ruckman. Obviously Ben McAvoy's getting a bit older, so to have two older ruckmans on the team might have been a bit of a problem. Max Lynch, I don't know much about him, but he could be special. And they only have a couple of future third round picks, which are tied to Brisbane, so they'll be high as well. So I'm not sure. I think I might actually put this one in good trade, just because it was great for the Hawks to get some depth in. Finally, we've got Peter Adams to the Swans, and I think this might be a bad trade. To give up pick 12, and yes, they get pick 16, but to give up pick 12 is a bit of a risky move, I reckon, because it's borderline top 10, whereas pick 16's very much close to second round, so there's a bit of a gap. And I'm not sure why they got a ruckman, because I don't think enough people talked about how good Tom Hickey was last year. I reckon he was a top 5, or at the very least top 7 ruckman last year. Whether he can do that again this year, who knows, but I'm not sure why they'd pick up another ruckman. Look, Peter Adams is a very good player, but I am going to have to put this one in bad trade. I know it's very debatable, but yeah. But that is the end of my video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button, and I will see you all next time.